Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachaha Kodash, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachaha Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone GMS who rule well and who teach well, and salutations to the elect as always. Abba Ratazah, which means Father willing. So Father willing, this lesson is edifying. So as you can see, I've got this article on your screen from uk.finance.yahoo.com, and Reuters has it here. BOE's barely sees major cybersecurity risks in new Anthropic model. All right. So a potential cyber attack could hit the American infrastructure, whether it be the banks or the electrical grid. All right. And before I go further, I'd like to share another article with you. This is from everycrsreport.com, Congressional Research Service. All right, April the 14th, 2016, a decade ago. All right, they had a discussion a decade ago. Blackout, are we prepared to manage the aftermath of a cyber attack or other failure of the electrical grid? Yeah, and it's an 8-page document. See, don't worry, I'll put the links to these two websites URL in the description area underneath. I'll put the links to these in the description box underneath. Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, Subcommittee on Economic Development, Public Buildings and Emergency Management, U.S. House of Representatives. Just say it, I'm sorry. Representatives. Yeah, see? It's an official document right here. All right. Anyway, this article from uk.finance.yahoo.com was put up on the 14th of April 2026. All right. So, hey, this is all recent news. See, the elites, the Dukes of E, they're preparing for an event. Okay. All right. A cyber attack scenario is extremely likely as well. Okay. Given what we are seeing in society today. Last year, remember, right? Last year, a massive power outage struck the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, Portugal, and parts of France, right? That took place on the 28th of April, 2025. Remember that? Severe disruptions for up to 10 hours, right? Just remember that. You see? That's a major effect. Okay. Bank, ATMs, internet service, trains were heavily affected. Right? Even the internet traffic plummeted in Portugal and Spain. Okay. So a lot of things that, rely on that. Hey, major disruption. You see? Yeah. Remember, that was only a year ago this month as well. A year ago. Time flew by. Things like this can and will happen in the near future. See, America is not exempt. April 14th, Reuters, central banks and financial regulators must quickly understand the implications of a new artificial intelligence model that could pose major cybersecurity dangers, Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey said on Tuesday. You see? Just take that in for a moment. Central banks and financial regulators must quickly understand the implications of a new AI model that could pose major cybersecurity dangers. All right, and the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey said on Tuesday. All right, so just think on. All right, moving forward. All right, let's go to the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 21. In verse 6, and we'll read this in the New King James Version. And it reads, "For thus has the Lord said to me, go, set a watchman, let him declare what he sees." Right? So we are on our watch. This is what I'm seeing. The Lord even said that when he brings a sword, he's supposed to have a watchman, because this is ultimately the judgment of the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. Okay, let's get a precept. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33. We'll start at verse 1. The subheading says the watchman's duty. And it reads, again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people. Who are the children of the Lord's people? The Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners scattered amongst the nations that even look like the heathen nations. All right, you see. So you're gonna have Israelites that are gonna look like so-called Chinese people, which are the Moabites in the scripture, right? So-called Africans, which are the Hamites in the scriptures, right? So-called Japanese people, which are the Ammonites in the scriptures, looking like so-called Arabs, which are the Ishmaelites in the scriptures, so on and so forth. All right, even like a 1948er, you're gonna have Israelites scattered amongst them too, looking just like the small huts. All right. Hey, so this is a spiritual thing. All right. But they descend back to the 12 tribes of Israel, going back to the lineage on their father's side. Okay. Yeah. Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coasts and set him for their watchman. Okay, and Great Millstone GMS is the watchman, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Okay. So yes, we're going to current events and filter it through the Holy Bible. When it comes to articles like the two I shared, the two websites, okay, the people have to be warned. This must come out, because this will affect your daily life. Facts. All right, it can happen. It happened last year. A lot of people seem to have short-term memories. Okay, they just can't wait for things to get back to normal. Majority of these people. All right, it happened last year in Portugal, Spain, and parts of France. All right, and the true prophets of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, all right, have the high IQ. Okay, trust me, right? Because the foolishness of the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. Right? These people think, oh, I got degrees and PhD and this and that. They think they're on top of the world and nothing can touch them, and they think they mastered everything. You see, it's that pride, man. All right. Verse 3. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. That's what we are doing. We're blowing the trumpet and warning the people, our people, all right, of the oncoming danger. Because that is coming. Okay. Verse 4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Ultimately, it's the Lord bringing that sword. All right, but he will use E, the Caucasian man who's in rulership today, to do it. Okay, so we send out the warnings, and if you disregard them, then it's on you. Let's get a precept in the book of Psalms, chapter 17. We can go further into the article. All right, Psalms chapter 17 and verse 13. Okay, and it reads, Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, the wicked is E, the so-called WHITEMAN. All right, Malachi chapter 1 tells you who the border of wickedness is. Okay. Sword of the Lord on the left-hand side. Okay. Let's go to the article. So, Governor Andrew Bailey said on Tuesday, it would be reasonable to think that the events in the Gulf are the most recent challenge to us in this world, until, I think it was last Friday, you wake up to find that Anthropic may have found a way to crack the whole cyber risk world open. Bailey said at an event at Columbia University in New York. Anthropic's Mythos product has drawn warnings from cyber experts about its potential to supercharge complex cyber attacks, which could challenge the banking industry and its existing technology systems. Think about that. Okay. So this is major. All right. Yeah. And regulators wanted to work out what this actually means, Bailey said. The issue is to what extent is this new version of the product going to be able to, in a sense, identify vulnerabilities in other systems which can be exploited for cyber attack purposes. He said cyber risks had risen up the list of concerns of regulators most rapidly in recent years. It's the one that never goes away. You have to keep mitigating it, but the threat actors will move on, so we have to deal with it, Bailey said. He dedicated most of Tuesday's event to discussing the issue of central banks' operational independence, which was not robust enough when it came to matters of financial stability. Wow. Yeah. You see? It's probably something like Skynet, mind of its own. Think back to the film Terminator 2. And this AI thing, and even making it difficult to tell what's real and what's not real with this AI. Okay? You see? And this is all done deliberately. Now, there's some things you can blatantly tell on YouTube, especially like if you go on YouTube, you can just tell, that's full on artificial intelligence. And then there's some ways to make it kind of a bit harder to, to suss out. All right. We see it's very, it can be used heavily for deception. All right. Yeah. And these AIs will soon pretty much have a mind of its own, if not already. You see, this is why we need the kingdom of heaven, which will be on earth, by the way. But you see, this society right now is set up for failure. Okay. Oh, and there's companies joining on board with it. Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Google. We all heard of them. Major companies. Damn near everybody uses them, or at least some of them, or at least, very least one of them. Yeah. Yeah, they're joining with Anthropic, all right, who created these different AI models. It's all set up for failure, man. All right. Bailey argued that monetary and financial stability policy, often depicted as separate issues or sometimes even at odds with each other, should be viewed together with an overarching objective of protecting the value of money. While monetary policy is defined by numerical inflation targets, financial stability is harder to grasp, leading to a distinction between the two, Bailey said. This is important because independence in respect to financial stability is otherwise not as robust, and I would argue not robust enough, Bailey said in his speech. His remarks come as central banks on both sides of the Atlantic face increasing levels of political pressure, albeit to differing degrees. In the United States, US President Donald Trump, the one that's tapped in the head, has called for lower interest rates and has repeatedly chastised Fed Chair Jerome Powell. In Britain, Finance Minister Rachel Reeves has pushed regulators, including the BOE, to give greater weight to economic growth when making decisions. Bailey said financial stability cuts across private interest in the financial system, as well as governments seeking to boost economic growth by loosening regulation to increase lending, particularly when memories of past crises fade. Much as monetary policy aims to protect the real value of money, Bailey said financial stability policy protects trust in money and that the two should be seen as complementary. I see merit in creating a single overarching narrative with a strong focus on the value of money. It would remove descriptions of financial stability such as tangential, or in conflict, Bailey said. So, look at that word, tangential. Yeah. All right. Yes. End of the article. Australia's petrol stations run dry. Energy crisis. Telegraph one day ago. Reeves handles Rolls-Royce £600 million to build mini nukes in Britain. UK headed for stagflation as the economy flatlines and inflation. Yeah. Well, so there you have it, man. All right. But yeah, they're joining with, Anthropic, who created these different AI models, man. Right? Major companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. All right. Again, set up for failure. And what they might do is trigger a cyber attack. They'll blame it on some AI, right? If they need to change the whole financial system and the whole system in general, okay, I would not put it past them. All right. They They do not want to let a good crisis go to waste. All right, and that word mythos sounds Greek. Just saying. Okay, and they'll be testing this AI system internally. All right. Who knows? It may even have the potential to be manipulated, or do its own thing, even if it feels threatened. And I believe it will do its own thing. Right? We see how chaos can stem from this. Hey, we ain't making this up, man. This is right in front of you. All right. Got this UK trade deal. Trump. He warns US UK trade deal can always be changed with relations inside state. 3 hours ago, The Guardian. Starmer won't yield to Trump. Threats to rip up UK US trade deal as row over Iran war intensifies. Trump threatens to rip up trade deal with Britain. 3 hours ago, Telegraph. And he had some RAF jets scrambled. Two hours ago, British fighter jet scrambled over fears of Russian bomber approaching UK. RAF fighter jet scrambled to intercept unidentified Russian bomber heading towards Britain 2 hours ago. Global news. Yeah, things happening, man. Ryanair flight cancellations. 2 days ago, Ryanair and EasyJet flights under threat as airports set to be hit with fuel shortages. This won't be the only one. Wales Online, Ryanair and EasyJet flight disruption warning as exact date airports face fuel shortages. More distractions. The World Cup 2026 scenario that could restore Italy's qualification hopes, yeah. Right? Meanwhile, RT.com, gunman attacks school in Turkey. A former student has opened fire at school in the Turkish city of Siverek. Yeah. Turkey rocked by second school shooting in 2 days. Oh, update to that. RTnews.com. Russian Security Council issues US-Israel ground op warning. The US and Israel could be using talks with Iran to prepare for a ground attack on the country. Trump opening Strait of Hormuz for China. See that? There's a lot of things going on, man. We're in the last days. The last days, perilous time shall come, man. And there's also wars and rumors of wars. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 16. All right. And verse 10. And it reads, "And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast." Okay. That's Babylon the Great America. "And his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain." Yeah, this cyber attack not only can hit banks, but it can take out the whole energy grid. Putting America into complete darkness. And that'll be judgment from the Lord. All right? Verse 11, "And blasphemed the Most High power of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds." You see? They're going to be even more wicked instead of repenting. All right? Then you're going to have these doomsday preppers, boasting. You see? I'm set, man. I'm prepared. I'm good. All right. Then they'll end up getting robbed by the guy who's not prepared. Fool. Come on, man. Putting up videos on YouTube and social media about you prepping. Very, very naive. Even the elites do not do that. Then you have the youths nowadays, these young ones, forever whining about how life is bitter. In case you haven't noticed, life is not fair. Didn't your blessed parents teach you that? Do me a favor. Let's go to the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 62. Start at verse 6, and it reads, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest, till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. You see? So yeah, we're here to give the warnings. Simple as. We're here to blow that trumpet. Okay, and remember the Feast of the Beast. Alright? From Sunday the 19th of April to Friday the 1st of May. Yeah. A ritual sacrifice is highly probable. Alright, who knows? Okay. The government has been talking about it behind the scenes. The elites are prepared for this. Best believe. Right? Okay. Alright. They're the ones in these bunkers. You know? Also building their bunkers. See? Interesting times we're in. Yeah, the banks are preparing for something. And this goes right into what? The transformation for this mark of the beast, RFID micro C-HIP. That's where all roads leads down to. Okay. Yeah. You can take a look into the anthropic model. Alright. Yeah. So this is heavy. Heavy stuff. Okay. Yeah, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to end it there, man. Okay. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. And Abad Babal.